So, to no one's surprise, the worst kept open secret is finally out. Oblivion has been remastered. It might be a surprise to you, but so far, I have only played a few hours of the original Oblivion on my PC, as it has the tendency to break and just shut off without any real reason. That really annoyed me, and I didn't play much further than I think the first Oblivion gate. So I decided to give this remastered a try, bought it the moment it was announced, and got to work the day after, cause the internet speed in my area is roughly the one of a turtle high on weed trying to run a marathon. So yeah, just so you know, in this video I'm getting distracted left and right. Not that it is a bad thing, but Jesus, I wanted to do thing A and then did B, C, and D without ever thinking of A again. Also, I am sorry if I'm sounding weird. I know surgery was just a few days ago and everything still hurts and the left side is infected, so that's fun and a painkiller party for me. With all that said, I'm looking forward to beating Oblivion for the very first time and sharing this experience with you all. So okay, let's do this. And I gotta say, quite a banger start. After making my character, I get racially insulted by the guy in the next cell over. Brilliant start. By the way, I made my character a dark elf, cause I fuck heavily with dark elves, and they are possibly my favorite race out of all Elder Scrolls races. By the way, little side note, the frame rates dropped heavily every time I changed something about my character, and because I had my lightning or gamma all the way up, even the darkest skin looked like it was pale. Something I changed as soon as I could and re-edited my character once I made it to the end of the sewer system. The Emperor came in and I was weirdly reminded of my hyperfixation on the Romanov era and how my 12-year-old self was so fixated on Anastasia. And I decided to just keep my mouth shut for the first time in my life as the Emperor rambled about dying soon. Well, if that's what your shrink told you, fine by me. I followed the old man and his bodyguards out of the prison cell, and once the wall to the weirder part of the sewage system broke open, I could finally continue with the tutorial. I'm not going to talk about this for too long, as it was quite long and nothing special that happened there. And for once, I didn't cheese an Elder Scrolls game right in the tutorial area, and did not power level myself. Okay, the Emperor died, and I was tasked to find Joffrey and give him the Amulet of the Kings. The first time I stepped out of the sewage system, I was amazed. Seriously, this game is so beautiful, breathtaking even. You need to know, back in the day, I had a PlayStation 2. I played so much on it. Mostly the SpongeBob games and other kids games. Until I graduated to more heavier games, such as the GTA games. We skipped the PlayStation 3 because money is money. And so the jump from PlayStation 2 games such as GTA San Andreas or Battle for Bikini Bottom to PlayStation 4 games such as GTA 5 were, wow. Shocking for my younger self, and even these days, stepping into a new gaming world that allows me to explore a new world and be the hero these people need. That's a feeling. So yeah, I headed to the Wayne Prairie? I hope that's how I pronounce it, to talk with Joffrey, and honestly, this game is so wacky and so beautiful, I love it. After getting the knowledge that I have to find Brother Martin, the Emperor's child born outside of marriage, who is living in Kvetch, I made my way there. Too bad that a gate of Oblivion opened just outside of Kvetch and we gotta fight the monster straight out of hell. Honestly, fun time. I love going through these Oblivion gates, even though they felt like they were popping up every 100 meters after a while. After shutting the gate, we ended the siege of the Daedra and found Martin, which we brought back to Joffrey. Well, that place was under attack by assassins and they managed to steal the Amulet of Kings, which the Emperor had given to me just before he died. Well, fuck! Also, I joined the Blades during this quest, giving me access to beds, books, and more fun stuff, which I never ever used. On another assassin, which I called the Mythic Dawn, we found a book called the Mythic Dawn Commentaries 1. With the help of a nice lizard in the Arcane University, I got the other two books. One involved murder, but we're just going to ignore that. The fourth and last book had to be taken by force, which my Blade companion Boros and I did. And I had to reload this part once because Boros died and I don't like it when my people die. Well, with all 4 books, I headed back to the Lizard Lady, which then promptly started to crack the code to find out where these fuckers were hiding. In their hideout, I quickly blew my cover and started painting the walls with their blood, avenging the Emperor, but the main man got away by stepping into a teleportation gate, and now I'm here with no amulet, no bitches, and no hope for the future. The next quest wasn't too spectacular. I had to kill 2 spies of the enemy faction and grab information from the hideouts. And at this point, I was facing a little problem, you see. I needed to find a Daedric artifact to continue the main mission. You know what else I did during this time? I joined all the guilds and beat up people in the arena. So yeah, instead of doing things for Martin and to help him stop the crisis, I finished the whole questline of the Dark Brotherhood. Which, by the way, was great fun. I actually had to think about how to assassinate people, stalk them, watch them. It was fun. I also did cheese the game a bit here. During the first or second mission, I don't remember exactly, you have to kill a dude in an inn. As I was sneaking towards his room, which he spends his whole time in, I realized I leveled up in sneak. So I put 2 hair ties around the joysticks of my controller and let my character walk in circles for roughly an hour in real time. This leveled me up to sneak 70, which was more than enough to get most things done. Also, I did some specific leveling up for both illusion and mysticism, I hope I pronounced that right, magic. I painstakingly did the detect life spell and the starlight spell for a long time, so I could use Deathly Visage spell and the soul trap spell. I also low-key did this with the alteration spells for the Wolf of Breeding spell, but I only had to be level 25 instead of level 50, so that was easier and quicker to do. At the same time, I started the Magic Guild's questline, which was actually painstakingly long if you think of the fact that in Skyrim, to join the College of Winterhold, you have to yeet a fireball into a general direction. Here you had to help out idiots in every city, and that was nice. The Fighters Guild was the one I did last for the moment, as I was also eyeing possible ways to join the Thieves Guild, but I hadn't found one yet. That was until I did the mission in Bruma, where I had to go to jail to talk to a dude. Once I finished the quest and did something in the Imperial City, I got a note to meet a dude at midnight, which is definitely a good idea, nothing that would lead me to an early demise. Thankfully, I'm the main character, so nothing happened and I got to join the Thieves Guild after stealing a diary. Also, maybe you have seen it in the video, but I really power leveled illusion and now I just make myself invincible all the time. Which also makes robbing people way easier. I hate to admit this, but I did the whole Thieves Guild questline in a single afternoon, having found great joy in the various worries I had to do during the dark and heavy time of my life. Sucks for these people, but it makes me feel a tiny bit better. And honestly, the climax is stealing an Elder Scroll. Very big dick energy right there. The day after, I continued with the Mages Guild questline as we came to realize that the necromancers were on our asses because they didn't like getting outlawed around here. Gosh, I cannot tell you how much fun I was having with these questlines. It was great, so much fun. It feels like I'm a little kid again, playing a new video game for the first time. You know, back in the day when you had the games on CDs and you didn't have a Steam library with hundreds of unplayed games. Getting a new game felt like Christmas and Easter at the same time, after you had saved up your pocket money for long enough. You see, after becoming the Archmage, only the Fighters Guild remained. A guild I wasn't too sure of because they were not present in Skyrim. Gotta admit, fighting for the people and figuring out a band of mercenaries who use drug to enhance themselves and hallucinate enemies? Whack. What a questline. I enjoyed it, but all the traveling around from city to city was not something that I greatly liked, so out of the 4 guilds, this one was my least favorite run. Okay, finally, main quest time! There wasn't a lot left to do as I had gotten a Daedric artifact on accident while fucking around and fighting out in this huge world. Next up was asking the other cities for help as Oblivion gates were popping up like pimples on a teenager's face. And honestly, this part was the only moment where I thought the game was dragging its feet. In every city I had to close an Oblivion gate. After 2 or 3 it became really annoying and I just jumped around to find the entry point for the main building and went on from there. Then we had to fight against the dead, were spilling out of the gates close to Broma. I had to hurry into yet another gate, but this time with a time limit of 50 minutes. And after closing this very big Oblivion gate, it was now time to get the amulet back. I had to enter Munkar Cameron's paradise, Munkar being the main force behind the Mythic Dawn cult. I didn't realize you could actually talk with people in there until I was stuck at the main exit towards the boss battle area, where I had to wait until Eldamil respawned and took off the bands which were needed to enter this area in the first place. Mankar yapped, I killed him in a few hits and the whole thing collapsed on itself, but I managed to get out with the amulet and now it was time for the final show. In the Imperial City, Martin was supposed to light the dragon fires, but before we could arrive at the temple, the city was overrun by Daedra and the main bad guy, Marunus Dagon, himself. She showed up in all his glory. Martin turned himself into a dragon with the blood inside of the Amulet of Kings, beat Marunus' ass, and turned himself into stone, ending the Oblivion crisis and thus reaching the end of this game. And here I also realized that 2 of the trophies had bugged out of me, and now I had to redo parts of the Mages Guild and the Fighters Guild questline. Awesome! Okay, all in all, this game was great. As I said, I was having a blast until the last minute, and I'm now going to continue playing the game for a while longer, doing the DLC, which I might upload in a separate video at a later date, and working on my first challenge video for this game. It is janky, a little bit weird at times, the graphics are amazing, but it still managed to keep its 2000 game charm. I'd rate this game 9.9 out of 10, with the 0.1 being taken away because the trophies glitched out of me. By the way, the same happened during my very first playthrough of Skyrim back in the day, many years ago. Speaking of Skyrim, I think going back to that game will feel quite strange, especially because I got used to things like having a spell and a weapon equipped at the same time. All in all, it took me 30 hours to beat this first playthrough of this amazing game. I cannot wait to play more of it, and as you are watching this, I'm currently recording, or maybe even editing, a challenge for this game. Okay, that's it for today. My name is Rexy, and this was my video on beating Oblivion Remastered for the very first time. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye!